Hey, social media family, welcome back to another podcast episode. We're going to have a raw and uncut conversation about how to successfully, how to properly remove people out of your life, out of your spirit, detach from soul ties, out of your energy, which is easier said than lived. Growing up, the way that I will handle my emotional expression when someone made me angry, I wouldn't fight. I wouldn't try to argue unless I was like severely provoked. Somebody has to severely provoke me to even argue. And then at the point in me having to, I just feel like it just takes too much out of my body to even be doing all that. So now I'm pissed. If I gotta do all that, now I want to fight, right? Praise the Lord that I don't have those interactions, but I would just detach myself by blocking people. Maybe a friendship, a relationship, a job, a family ship didn't work out, and I would just block people. But when I would block them, being an emotional being, I would oftentimes unblock people. And I didn't understand, and or it could be I just met a random person that something was off, but because I didn't have the wisdom to pay attention to the energy or the vibes or the spirit within that person, I would probably meet somebody, be here one day, go on the next, just block them. What I realized about blocking is it doesn't get to the root of the problem. It doesn't solve the conflict and it doesn't give me understanding. So I would be blocking and unblocking. I would unblock people, let them pop up in my life. I will pop up back in their life. And then if it was somebody that I did not know and I was like, man, something ain't right about them, and I blocked them, but then I unblocked them, then I got to know them. And then I got to find out what wasn't right about them when I should have just kept them blocked in the first place. But blocking does not give understanding. With family, friends, or jobs, somebody make me mad, I would just block them, but that's not getting the understanding of why they should not be in your life. That's not getting the understanding of why they hurt my feelings, why they're bad, why this is not going to work. We have to question things. We have to look into things. We have to do our extended research, do self evaluations on why. There's always a why to everything. The one thing I learned is I have to figure out that why. Why am I blocking somebody? Now, what I do is I write down the pattern. I write down the relationship. I pray about it. I analyze it. This is not overthinking. A lot of people say this is what you call healing. This is what you call self work. This is what you call self love. This is what you call spiritual work. You are getting to this is what you call loving yourself, getting within yourself, getting to know yourself, going within. That's what you're doing when you're bringing these things out. When you bring these things out, they're not able to control your inner world anymore. So you have to bring out these thoughts, these behaviors, these patterns so you can see them. I promise you, it sounds so far fetched, like versus having a thought in your mind versus writing it down. It will run you crazy to keep it in your mind. Your mind is your spiritual realm, not just your spiritual realm, it's the spiritual realm. It's the spirit world. We don't know how to tap into that responsibly. So you will let that one thought roam your mind and it will drive you crazy. And that's what you call a strong delusion. And if you don't get out of your mind, the Lord said one day those delusions will overtake you because you fail to ask God for wisdom, like he said in Proverbs. Come on, Jesus. He said one day wisdom will laugh at you because you do not seek to love wisdom. You have to be corrected from the inside. Take those thoughts out of your mind and write them down on paper. When I began to do that, I said, okay, let me write this down about this dude. Oh, snap. Now I can actually see. When we are doing things and we're with people, that's the distraction of it all. Nobody around us is healing. Nobody is around us is spiritually conscious. So we're just going with the flow of things. And then if you're the type of person you break up with people or you just go through things and you forget about it, you never look into it, all of that pain, all of that pressure is still on your soul. And that changes your character. Little do you know, it changes your character. I begin to write these things down, look at these people. Now I have a pattern. Now I can tell you a pattern because I can see it. Bring out the spiritual into the physical. You're writing it down, now it's physical. Now you can see, oh, okay, so this is how I know my type, because I know the type of dudes I'm attracted. I know the type of dudes I like. This is the behavior, this is the character, this is the age range, this is the attitude. Now instead of me just blocking a dude, like, dang, this is a fine shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm finna get his number or whatever. Man, something ain't right. I'm finna just block this dude. Now I'm lonely, like, okay, dang, I ain't even got no roster, you feel me? Man, I'm finna unblock the fine shit and just talk to him. That will avoid us so much conflict, so much of somebody playing on our face when we start keeping up with things in our life, the self evaluations. This is not only about somebody else, this is about you too. But the only way you're able to break down the things that you need to break down and know about yourself is you have to bring those things out. And you have to pay attention to, like our Uncle David said in Proverbs, come on, Jesus, he said, you have to know wisdom and the dark truth. You have to know it's two sides to every story. Everything is not about somebody else. What about you? So when you begin to tell the truth, and the truth does hurt more than a lie, but if you really want to live a real, healthy, honest life, if you're really somebody like me, you've been through it, you're still going through it, but you're really trying to live like God told you to live, even though it's hard, even though you get tested and all of the things, you're going to do that work. You're going to do that work. You want to look into that. So now instead of me just blocking the fine shit, now I will see why I'm blocking the fine shit. Like, okay, because I'm not finna get my feelings hurt. I could tell this is a playboy. Now I'm able to read into that energy or read into that spirit. Like, okay, you feel me? Now I see the spirit of Jezebel on this man. I see this man is full of lust. I ain't really on that type of time. Now I got options. Now I get to choose. I also feel like the blocking people, come on, Jesus, was running from the truth. It was running from the problems back to that 50-50 of me facing myself. One thing I learned about healing now, why people don't want to work with me, I'm going to tell y'all the real, especially if you've been here in a long time, probably looking like, well, dang, the views is up. Well, the numbers look good. It look like she popping. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear to be. People do not want to work with me. I ain't gonna say that in general. Like, I rebuke the devil in the name of Jesus, but there's certain people that don't want to work with me, and there's people that do want to work with me. But let's just talk about the don'ts. Because what's happening is, I'm like, dang, bro, like, why it seem like I'm repelling back to people something? It seems like I'm projecting something onto people, or I'm being like a mirror or a shadow to people. That's also called shadow work. See, what I did is I asked people, and I thank God for that. I was able to go back somewhat into my past and ask people the things that they seen about me that I was not able to see about myself, and that's called the shadow work. So I have so many different perspectives of myself, from what other people said, from what God said, what I said. Now I'm able to pick and choose who I want to be. Now I'm learning about who I truly am. You have to go deep into the root, like the Lord told us in Jeremiah, and get these things. It's a deeply rooted problem. It's not just the curse, it's not just the family, it's deeper than that. Some people might be able to speak to a person in their past, but I just want you to understand, you're not going to get an apology from everybody. You're not going to get the truth from everybody. I fasted and prayed about these things, and I told God I didn't want nobody coming back and apologize to me about nothing. But some people did, and then it just, the way everything flowed, it was meant to be. So I got everything that I needed to heal. I don't know if that will happen for everybody that way, as far as them being able to get information from from certain people. Because if somebody is passed over, like somebody in my life has passed over, and I wanted answers about that, then you will have to strictly get that information from God. You'll have to strictly just deal with being comfortable not knowing. Maybe God ain't gonna tell you some stuff about that person, or about some things, so you would just have to be okay with that closure. You're not going to heal or break no soul ties just by blocking people. I got one of the strongest soul ties with a young man. Me blocking him, and it's still taking to these days right now. This is not an overnight thing. Like, I used to hear people say that all the time. They'd be like, well, how they know overnight thing if you working with God? I had to get in the field and walk my own path to now tell you this day is not an overnight task. Some things will come overnight. God has revealed things to me in an instant, in a second of me asking a question in my mind. He already told me. And then there's some things that took decades to get an answer about. That's the patience of it all. That's the endurance. Come on, Jesus. That's the fruit of the Spirit, being able to endure and long suffer, just waiting on that one answer. So I had a soul tie with the young man. I did not understand, but I knew I kept blocking him and unblocking him, blocking him, unblocking him. But I knew I was trying to remove the connection, but that's not how you remove a connection. Just running away from the problems. Going back into what I was saying just a moment ago, some people do not like to be around. They don't really want to, work with me because I am reflecting what they are refusing to see within themselves because I'm really healing. Now, I thought this was a game. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. As much as I love God, as much as I talk about Jesus Christ, I really didn't know the work that I was doing. All of the work that I've been doing has been on this channel, I promise you, since day one. It flipped from lip gloss and it went straight into healing. I didn't even know it was working. I wasn't questioning it, but I was like, bro, I don't even know what you're saying. Until people started telling me, like, bro, you different. You getting shy now. You being more modest now. You being more respectful. You looking younger. Bro, I did this fast. I ain't even talk about it yet. But I did a fast where God just swooped. Everything just happened so quick. Everything happened so quick. So when people start saying stuff, I start questioning, like, okay, do this mean it's working? And then the way things just align, I said, oh, okay. And then the way God would talk to me and how certain scriptures will pop up. So now it's undeniable. I'm like, oh, okay. You feel me? Like, this is what's going on. So now, because I'm healing, it's a natural reflection of other people. They're not going to tell me because they probably don't understand what's happening or why they not really drawn to me or whatever, or why they drawn to me and don't like me for real or whatever. But I had to get the understanding of, well, you're really healing. See, this is not gonna happen with a fake person that's not really doing the work and they just are talking about God. When you're really doing something for real, because God know my heart. I could play with y'all all day if I was fake like that, and then you know what I'm saying. But God really knows my heart. So this is why now everybody is able to see it. Come on, Jesus, because the inside, my heart, is being purified. Come on, Jesus. So all of that was on the inside, since I bring it out in privacy, people are seeing the fruit of the labor of God. Thank you, Jesus. People are seeing that renewed. You remember when David said, Lord, created me a clean heart and renew the right spirit within me. People are seeing the new spirit that's being renewed within me. This is the work. We have to get to the root of the problem. Blocking people is not going to remove the fact that you still low key like them. Why do you like him? Because he makes me comfortable. He has the attachment. I have an emotional attachment with him. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So how can I bring my love and my emotions back into myself? But hold on, why was that person so able to get so much of that emotion? Where does that intertwine? Oh, it comes from the emotion. It's a mother wound. Oh, okay. You get things like that when you start to break it down. You know how people be so confident to tell you where their pain comes from, how they know this, how they know that about themselves. This don't have to be scientifically proven. They know this about themselves because they're doing the self work. This is easier said than lived. You're gonna probably take some L's, but only the strong survive. These days, the way that the way that the world is going, I don't care nothing about nothing but my soul being purified. Like, I already got dragged by my pearls for 31 years, so it's like God deserves the whole me. And I'm gonna tell you something, it's not easy. You're gonna go through it, but you will preserve your life. The Lord said, the man that try to save his life will lose it, but he that give his life to God, he shall save it. So keep trying to, just like me being homeless, if I would have tried to keep that place and I seen it going downhill and I heard God telling me, you finna have to let this go. If I would have just been like, no, I want to go on this next trip, you know what I'm saying? Like, I told that man, I said, Lord, this is the last risk I'm taking. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I ain't gonna say the way I be talking to God, but it be raw and uncut for real in my prayer life. I told him, bro, all right, we can go ahead and do this. This is the last risk I'm taking. Just besides being homeless, there was so much more to it. Y'all, I'm at so much peace because there was things that I needed to see. There was questions that have been answered, doors that have been unlocked in the spiritual realm. Of course I need a home. Right now I need a bed. I need the place furnished. I want. But hold on. Besides me, what is God trying to talk to me about? I know I always say, like, oh, I've been through a lot. I'm telling y'all my story. I am one day It's just a lot going on behind the scenes. A lot going on behind the scenes. I want to make sure that I'm 100% purified, that I'm not speaking from hurt, pain, trauma, delusion. I'll tell you something about me. The one thing about me, I'm never giving up. It's not my soul contract. Remember, I told y'all, like, sometimes people, they give up the ghost sooner, or they want to give up the ghost. Sometimes people want to give up the ghost. Sometimes people don't want to be here. People are in agreement with giving up the ghost. I'm not in agreement with any of that. So you have to pick a side. And we're still in the shift. The shift is the new world order. We're in the shift. I already picked my side. So as everything is shifting, I'm still growing and still learning. Social media family, I just wanted to let you know, you can't block people to remove them out of your life. You have to go within yourself. And when people say go within yourself, you're not about to, you ain't no doctor. You know what I'm saying? If you is a doctor, do you a doctor? But you're not no doctor. You're not finna do no surgery. You're not finna remove nothing to go within yourself and see what everything look like. That's not how it works. Going within is sitting down intentionally, asking questions, writing things down. The way you go within is you simply write them down. You write them down. You bring out what's within, and then your physical is able to see. You have to be able to work with the spiritual and the flesh, but knowing that they're at war with each other. Come on, Jesus. They're lusting after each other. So you have to be able to know that, okay, I'm finna pick a side. And I know when I pick this side, I have to be able to see what side I'm picking. I could pick the side to just still be a YB, a young bitch. I could pick the side to just still be, you know what I'm saying, just going with the flow of life. But that's not within me. Like I was saying just a second ago about like the soul contract, I'm not in agreement with that. Sometimes people's soul and spirit is when you hear somebody say, "Come on, Jesus," they're set in their ways. You're only setting your ways because your soul is in agreement already. You already made up your spiritual mind. I love you. God bless you.